Welcome back, all you beautiful folks, to yet another episode of your favorite podcast, Wide Right, featuring your two most favorite co-hosts in the entire big fat round world, Silas Jackson
and Ethan Hutton.
And we are hitting you this week with a jam-packed episode of Wide Right, kicked off by a little bit of an unorthodox route for us. But over the weekend, Silas and I indulged in the new Captain America movie.
Oh, God.
And boy, what a treat that was. Silas, tell us a little bit about Captain America.
It was quite possibly the greatest movie I've ever watched. Genuinely, okay, I didn't like it at all. And only after I watched it, did like all my algorithm on Reels was all about Captain America, and apparently a lot of people really liked the movie.
Are you for real? People?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the public really liked it.
Guys, we have to reiterate, this is a dog shit film. Probably one of the worst Marvel has put out, at least in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe...
We get it, everyone's dead, but you don't have to have the lone Avenger in the world just sulking about how much he sucks for the entire movie.
I just think because this was pretty much a sequel to the Hulk movie, and I think a sequel to a movie that came out 20 years ago that nobody remembers, I think is just kind of like a poor business model. And maybe I'm just not as big of a Marvel fan as I used to be, which is definitely true, but I mean, if it wasn't so laughably bad, I would, in fairness, I was smiling for most of the duration of the movie, but I don't think it was for the reasons they wanted. My biggest problem was I didn't understand what was happening or who anybody was, it's a pretty big hurdle to jump over.
We did subject ourselves to that, though. Like, we probably knew that full bore, considering everyone's been dead for, like, the last 2 or 3 Marvel movies. I don't even know what Marvel's put out, but it hasn't been much.
Right.
And, the whole movie, I was just waiting for Red Hulk. And they introduced Red Hulk in the last, 25 minutes of the movie. It's never good. It doesn't save the movie like I thought it would.
It wasn't nearly. He didn't blow enough stuff up for me to really redeem it. This isn't anywhere in my notes. I don't remember.
It's right at the very top of the thing where I put Captain America review.
I didn't see that. Did you add that after me?
Dude, that was the first thing I added to the note when I made it.
I mean, that's fair enough. This is oversight on me. Maybe I just skipped out on that.
Oh my god! But like full bore, guys. If you sneak a couple beers into this movie and you play a drinking game called Every Time He Mentions the Serum, Take a Drink, you'll walk out of this thing fucking hammered.
That's true. Every single line in the movie, I think, is like an empty platitude. It's just pretty rough, man.
The whole it's just never good. Marvel's in the can right now. But we just wanted to take
We will be back with a review of the Thunderbolts mid-March.
Yeah. That's coming up. The new Avengers. Be on the lookout for that. But that's the next installment of the Marvel dumpster fire phase. But moving on to what could be an equally huge dumpster fire. NBA All-Star Weekend was this weekend.
True.
And
very true.
I would just like to offer this. I'd like to start this segment off by offering my most sincere sorrows about where All-Star Weekend is in 2025. We had to watch a collection of the best players in the NBA play a team led by Dalton Knecht and Stephon Castle because no one in the league cares to hustle around the All-Star game. It's not the only fault of the All-Star game, but it's a pretty big one. I used to feel excited for All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend used to hype me up, especially as a basketball fan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just hard to get the players motivated for this kind of stuff. It's the same problem with the Pro Bowl,
Yeah.
And even...
Well, we saw what they did to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
they literally did away with it.
Probably more exaggerated even in the NBA, because it's in the middle of the season, of an 82-game season.
Mm-hmm.
The players are already worn out. They're already battling injuries. It's just hard to to get them to go out there and play their best in a game that's essentially meaningless, because the thing that matters is being named an all-star, not going to play in the game at this point.
Right.
And it just becomes like some grand vacillation of a weekend, and just like, and some of the players are having fun, and some of the players obviously just don't give a fuck.
Kevin Durant's one of them.
Yeah.
But this All-Star game in particular, it was a new format. I don't know if you actually watched the game. I don't know if anybody did.
No, I didn't.
I did.
Full disclosure, I did not watch a second of this weekend.
I tuned in the All-Star weekend. I gave the new format a try. Basically, it was that game I described where that was Shaq's team. It had Steph Curry and LeBron. LeBron didn't play. Announced he wasn't playing right before the All-Star game. He got some flack for that. But it was them playing against the Rising Stars team, who won the Rising Stars tournament like the day before. And that to me was just a joke. Everyone was talking about how that was just a joke. Like Draymond Green literally put the NBA on blast during the All-Star game broadcast. So that was pretty sweet. But it was 2 games to 40 points. And then in the middle of one of the games, they brought out all the NBA on TNT guys and just dressed them up like fishermen, because they were going into retirement, so to speak, because the NBA is going to the new TV deal, so they're going away from TNT. But it was literally like NBA players like KD and Kyrie and like were dressing up Shaq, Kenny, Ernie, and Chuck, like dressing them like fishermen. That just happened in the middle of one of the games. Team Shaq unsurprisingly beat the Rising Stars team, and then Charles Barkley's team beat Kenny Smith's team. It was as uninteresting as your face is making it look like right now. I wish we had a webcam so I could just have it panned to you while I'm going through this whole soliloquy here.
I got nothing to offer, really.
Here's the crazy part. People tried during both All-Star games this year, which I just think is nuts. Shaq's team of OGs beat the Rising Stars team by 5 points. There was a bigger blowout in the other game that was actually between 2 All-Star teams. People tried. Victor Wembanyama was blocking shots. Players were playing defense. It was crazy. But the worst part is that we need a fucking tournament and to hold up your reputation and avoid losing to first and second year players, just to not be embarrassed. And then Steph Curry, who had a very unenthusing All-Star game from a fan perspective, ended up winning All-Star game MVP. But no flack to Steph. I love Steph, but that was strictly because it was in the Bay. And Adam Silver said it only makes sense to give this award to Steph Curry as he was naming it to Steph Curry. It just sucks. It sucks to see where the All-Star game is at. Aside from the All-Star game, All-Star Weekend also has the dunk contest and the three-point contest.
Yeah.
Yep, both those things are still on. Tyler Hero won the three-point contest, beating against a bunch of players who are known for their mid-range shooting. I don't know in what universe Jalen Brunson and Cade Cunningham, but I get it. They're having a pretty good year shooting the three. Jalen Brunson is historically a mid-range scorer, as is Cade Cunningham, and Norman Powell is in the competition. I'd like to talk a little bit about the three-point contest. The same thing kind of goes for the dunk contest. Mac McClung, I'm sure you saw that. He three-peated.
Yeah, because he's a beast.
Yeah, but aside from that, we're just going to take a dive in here into everything that's wrong. I miss when the NBA used to have just certified bums, competing in the three-point contest. I miss when Steve Novak, who was a career 3.5 point per game scorer, was coming up and putting 35 shots just for the 3-point contest. These are guys who can shoot the ball. It's not a popularity contest. And the 3-point contest was just the polar opposite of the dunk contest, because it was just a bunch of bums who couldn't beat a G League guy. What happened to putting just bums in the dunk contest who could just fucking throw down? Zach LaVine, he won the dunk contest. He was a bum then. He wasn't Zach LaVine yet. Aaron Gordon's always been just okay, right? Derrick Jones Jr., bum. Jason Richardson, he was good for a few years. Overall, bum. Put bums back in All-Star Weekend. These are guys who hustle. These are guys who are fighting for that paycheck. Like fucking Steve Novak. Like even Matt Flynn. You think Matt Flynn wouldn't have been fighting for that sweet-ass Mountain Dew trophy? Like, it's just unfathomable. And even like Eamon Thompson. Like I was watching the Rising Stars game and someone fucking broke away for a dunk and he just kind of laid it in. And, like, I said out loud to myself, I was like, man, I wish he just spiked that motherfucker. And then, like, during the All-Star game, Eamon Thompson does the same thing, and he threw that motherfucker down. And it got me hype. I was, like, standing up out of my chair. But why wasn't he in the fucking dunk contest? Why was Matas Buzelis in the dunk contest? You don't even know who that is.
I don't. I absolutely don't.
Put bums back in All-Star Weekend.
Are you calling Eamon Thompson a bum?
For now. He's going to prove me wrong. He's sweet, but for now, I'm calling him a bum. Players who are just specialists, you know? Like J.R. Smith used to be in the dunk contest and the three-point contest. Known bum. J.R. Smith, known bum. He was fucking out there, though. He was a highlight reel. You have players in the league who are certified scraps. These are guys who are straight up bums. Mac McClung, straight up bum. We need him in competition.
Hasn't he earned more money in the dunk contest
than he has in the
NBA?
Yep, in his entire yes. He's played in like maybe 12 NBA games for his entire career, I think the number is.
But he's nasty. You're the white boy.
He's so sweet. Mac McClung is sweet, but he's the only one. Like I'm not there to watch Mac McClung sit on the bench for 2 hours while other shitters dunk. I want legit fucking beasts in the dunk contest, motherfuckers who can throw down. Like I can give you 3 names right now who I could replace the other 3 fuckers in the All-Star game or in the dunk contest. But
all right, power rankings for the NBA.
Well, wait, don't you want to throw something about how the league can improve All-Star Weekend?
No, man. I think if you want to say something up, you've got the floor.
This is kind of just talking about what you said. There needs to be some fucking incentive for playing in the All-Star game, right? The league is bringing in like $1 billion a year. Choke up like 10 million of that, so the fucking All-Star game MVP, so players can have something to play for.
Okay, look, I actually have one.
Okay.
So disband All-Star Weekend entirely for like 3 or 4 years, and then you get people like getting nostalgic for an All-Star Weekend in like 4 or 5 years, right? Yeah. And they're like, man, All-Star Weekend was pretty cool, and they're gonna bring it back, and all the players are gonna be really hype about it because all the fans are gonna be really hype about it, and they're gonna get into it, and for like 2 or 3 years it's gonna be awesome, and then it's gonna suck again for another 8, and then they're gonna stop again. And I think this is what they need to do.
All right, I just want to read you a tweet that KD wrote today, and it was talking about what we're talking about right now. Kevin Durant tweeted, I think it's more fun to complain about the NBA than to actually watch it. Crazy. Cancel All-Star Weekend and let's just give everybody a break since we're so miserable around this time. So that was kind of like thrown at people like us who think All-Star Weekend is entertaining. Break a fucking sweat, KD. That's all I want. Sit in the fucking chair for just like a possession or 2.
It's not KD's fault, man.
No, it's not KD's fault. KD actually played pretty well during, but I'm bitching a bitch. I'm bitching because I'm a fan and I want to be excited about All-Star Weekend again because All-Star Weekend used to fucking mean something.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, like it is the slog of the NBA season.
It's just a fucking joke, man.
And like it should be a reason for fans to get excited to watch something because 82 games is a lot, and it takes away the meaning of each game in the NBA, and so like it's not really as engaging to watch every single one. And when you're like week 55, like game 55, like oh my god, and then like it just sucks to have your All-Star break be shit.
They always say about the NBA that the season doesn't start until All-Star Weekend is finished. And I like where All-Star Weekend is. I like that it's like towards like the back half of the season. Everyone's playing at their best. I just wish like I know what you mean, like people can't risk injury. It's the same reason like people don't compete in the dunk contest and stuff, is it? But like there are some funds that can be fucking built up in one way or another from a multi-billion-dollar corporation to give to a guy to make them hustle for the fans.
I think that's what you're. I think I agree. That's what you're getting at with like get the bums back in there. Get people who need the money. Who like
right?
They don't,
absolutely.
Like how much can you give Steph or KD? Like they're already rich beyond beyond all dreams. Like what do you get? A couple extra $1,000 to risk getting hurt and blowing your season? It's not worth it for those guys. But for Max McClung and it's like it is worth it for those guys. And I agree. You want to get guys who are specialized, but maybe don't have a huge role in the actual in the actual NBA. You want to get those guys giving it their all and giving the people something fun to watch. I agree.
So here's like down the line of some notable dunk contests. 2020, Derrick Jones Jr. beat Aaron Gordon. That was a sweet dunk contest. As a fan, I enjoyed the shit out of that dunk contest. Derrick Jones Jr., I don't even know where the fuck he is right now.
He might be in Europe playing ball.
No, he's in the league somewhere.
Oh, is he?
He's in the league somewhere. It might be for Dallas. I just don't know where. At last I checked, it was for Dallas. That guy, Diallo from the Thunder, when he won it, it was sweet. He fucking put on a show. Donovan Mitchell put on a show. He's a star now, but he was just motherfuckers who can dunk. Mac McClung's the only one in the contest where I'm like, man, this motherfucker throws down. Like that's like the only part of the game. Nate Robinson couldn't do anything on the fucking basketball court besides dunk on motherfuckers.
When did Nate Robinson win? Are we going back like 15 years?
Yeah, 2010. 2009 and 2010. He won it back-to-back years. Yep. Yeah. Jeremy Evans won a dunk contest. Dude, like this is just what I want to see. And it's just heartbreaking that this is where the NBA's at. And we can move on now.
I mean, it's good. You got the heat off your chest.
I did. I feel good
it's
now.
Important.
I feel good now. So we'll move on. Move over to our NBA power rankings. These are our top 5 teams in the league, leaving All-Star break after fucking all the trade deadline moves. Luka's in LA now, AD's in Dallas, fucking everyone's everywhere. So we're just going to get into it. Would you like to lead us off?
Yeah, so how are we going? Am I going to do all 5 or are we going to go back and forth?
We'll go back and forth.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have the Thunder at 1.
I have Boston at 1.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They have the best... Oh, sorry. Oh, my God. The Thunder have the best...
You're talking about Oklahoma City.
Yeah. They have the best point differential and the best turnover differential.
They do, yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know. They've got the tied for the best record in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
They're sweet.
They're number one.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
I don't have much else to say.
I feel like 1, 2, and 3 are very interchangeable. I feel like we're going to have the same 1, 2, and 3, whether it be... Yeah. Who's your number 2?
I have Boston at 2.
Okay, Boston.
Just top 5 defense and offense.
They're reigning champs. They're
great
still
at everything, pretty much. They've got good depth and good star power. Nothing else to say.
They have great size, too. Something I wish my number 2 team had. The Cleveland Cavaliers are my second team. This is definitely bias playing into this, but yes. I think they're like very like interchangeable, like we said, 1, 2, and 3. Cleveland's fucking sweet this year. The only thing I wish they had more of is size. They are going to get fucking punched in the throat down low. I think they can handle it. They have, like, arguably the best starting 5 in the league. Mm-hmm. They're on pace to have the best offense in league history. They're putting 130 points on everybody. It's just, unfortunately, sometimes they're getting 132 points put on.
Yes.
So, go ahead. Number 3.
I have the Cavs at 3. I mean, they're top 5 in points, field goals, threes. The reason I have them below Boston and Oklahoma City is, like you said, they've got a huge, big problem. Mm-hmm. And they also have the easiest schedule in the NBA, which greatly contributes to the record, but also you don't just stumble into the best record in the NBA, or tied for the best record.
Yeah, right.
But whatever, that's kind of splitting hairs to put them at 3, but I agree they're kind of all interchangeable.
Yeah,
I assume you have Oklahoma City.
I do. I have Oklahoma City 3. The only thing I'm scared of, like Cleveland, about Oklahoma City is their depth. They have Isaiah Hartenstein, who is sweet. I wish the Cavs had him. I fucking love Isaiah Hartenstein. He's built like a German tank. I worry about Chet Holmgren. I don't think OKC as real title contenders without Chet. I think he's going to play a huge part in their eventual title run. They're going to win a chip with this core.
He hasn't been hurt in a couple of years though, so I think
he missed some time before All-Star break, but he's back now.
Significant.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's just like a nagging injury. Like I worry about him on a game-to-game basis kind of guy. Yeah. But 4 and 5's where it really gets interesting. So who you got at number 4?
I've got Denver at 4.
Okay.
I just think Jokic is going to win another MVP this year, and he makes them. I think they're the top paint team in the league.
Yeah.
And he's just unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I've got Denver at 4.
Denver's a good pick. I hate to be this guy. I'm going the Lakers at 4. I worry about LA's depth in the post more than any other team in the top 5, but like I can't stress how ithonic the pairing of LeBron and Luka is.
Yeah.
That's like if Jordan was still Jordan and you gave him and you gave him Kobe, pretty much, would be a good comp around that time. It's just, they're so nuts. They're a sweet pairing. They can beat anybody. If you have to, LeBron can step in the post if you just want to make this his last season and just say fuck his ankles. They lack size, but LeBron and Luka can both rebound.
Yeah, I'm bought into. I've got the Lakers at 5.
That's a sweet pick. Well, I was going to go Denver at 5, but I'll make things interesting and go Memphis.
I put some honorable mentions on here.
Okay,
I've got the Knicks and the Grizzlies as honorable mentions on my list. I actually had I had the Grizzlies at 4 instead of Denver, and then I looked into it a little more and I crossed it out and put Denver.
Yeah, I mean they're Memphis is they have a really good record. Jaw's playing really good. I just worry about their high end. I worry about Jaw's ability to carry a team alone. I don't think Desmond Bane is a legit number 2. I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a big enough scoring threat as a second option.
I don't know. And they're really bad against teams above 500. They've been trash. Well, not trash, but they've been. I think they're 13 and 15. Yeah, 13 and 15 is what I have written down against teams above 500, and that's
a good record. That's a good stat.
Yeah, they're not bad by any means, and like I said earlier, you don't stumble into a record that good, but they are one of those teams that I feel like the seeding is a little misleading once you actually get down into the playoffs.
Absolutely. I full disclosure, I was going to put Denver at number 5, unsurprisingly, but I would also like to give a shout out to Houston. They kind of fell off before All-Star break a little bit, but they're kind of like Oklahoma City. They're like a worse Oklahoma City. They're crazy young and they have crazy draft capital, and once they get a legit once they get a Shea in there, I worry about Houston.
Yeah, they've got a real bright future. They're a team to get excited about.
Just wanted to give them a shout out, but NBA returns to action tomorrow. The Hornets are taking on the Lakers in a game.
Good luck.
So you like Charlotte in that one?
I love Charlotte in that. Yeah, I mean, sorry, dude. You got whatever. You got 2.
They might not even be playing.
2 top 20 players of all time. Yeah. Fuck that, dude.
Getting your ass down to Buzztown, son.
Yeah, dude. What? How is Luka good enough not to get killed in Charlotte? No. No. How good are the Lakers gonna be then?
Assassination.
Have you guys seen LaMelo's Cybertruck? I mean, come on. No, the Lakers are gonna fucking pummel the Hornets. I've got nothing. No hope, no nothing. They're so terrible.
Yep. We're gonna step off the hardwood for the remainder of our show until we get to our go to the week. Little spoiler there, but we'll take it over to the NFL. It's the off season, so everyone's speculating. I'll let you look through our list. Where do you want to start us at for the NFL chatter?
Let's just go in order. Let's just go down the list.
All right.
I think that's fine.
We'll start it off in, I guess this would be Pittsburgh. The Steelers have been trying to make moves on their next quarterback. Recent reports have indicated Pittsburgh doesn't really like Russ or Justin Fields, which what?
Yeah, I know that blows your brain up. I'm glad Pops isn't on this one. He'd be banging his fist on the table.
Pops was hype about the T-Law trade.
I bet he was.
The Steelers tried to give up a first-round pick. I think they're first this year and a second-round pick next year for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if that's a trade that's like going to be reignited. It's not a trade that went through as of today, as of this Wide Right episode. They also like Matt Stafford, who's apparently on his way out in LA. His wife is just burning every bridge there for himself. That's a funny situation. But to start in Pittsburgh, to be honest, I don't think either of these are realistic options.
I don't either. I think Fields is still probably the most realistic one on the board.
I can say though, going into next season, Stafford is my top option.
Yeah, how could he not be?
Stafford's he's still an elevator, which
is so good. And
still probably a top 7 quarterback, you could say.
Yeah,
he's right around there.
He's I wouldn't put him lower than 7 for sure. I think as a Pittsburgh pseudo fan, I'm not. I don't know. I like Pittsburgh.
You can't buy in too much.
No, I can't. I've bought into too many bad teams already. If they got Stafford, that would make them a super exciting team, and they need him to contend in an AFC with a bunch of good quarterbacks in it. Yeah. So they need him, and T-Law would be a guy who is like, that's exciting, but are you really? Well, first of all, I don't know if Jacksonville would be willing to give him up. And it seems
they
like
haven't
they're
yet.
Not.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's not going to sink in the bag.
I think they'd have to give him so much more than a first and a second, and you're giving so much for a first and a second for a guy who really has not lived up to his potential.
Paid like a top 10 quarterback, not to play like a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, and just I still think he's got all the potential in the world.
Yeah,
I think he can live up to the contract that he's been given, and we've seen that amount of play out of him before. But from an organizational standpoint, is like, are you really going to give that much capital for a guy who is, vastly unproven, and your roster really has other holes in it? Like, you're not just a quarterback away. You need other things. You need that first round pick, and you need that second round pick.
They did cut Preston Smith. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Cut Preston Smith. That was a good move. They saved about
move.
$13 million. But they're building up their salary cap, presumably to make some kind of a splash.
This is their top 10 in salary cap, I think.
Yeah.
So which is nice to see. They're normally like hovering around 20 because they never make anything.
Yeah, that's Omar Khan, man. He's been like a breath of fresh air. Like he just does all the things that you'd be like begging Colbert to do for multiple off seasons. But they're bringing Artie Smith back, which, if he brought Stafford in, he'd call his own offense.
Yeah, I don't hate bringing Arthur Smith back. I don't think he's a crazy good OC, but
he's a Super Bowl caliber OC.
He's not. He is absolutely not. But I do think for the team the Steelers have, is they're not a Super Bowl caliber team at this point.
No.
You got to be realistic. You want to keep Tomlin's streak going, which I know is at the forefront of their minds.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think Stafford would be super exciting. I don't think super realistic though.
I think that's one of the more realistic options, just for the fact that they might not cut him, they might trade him, and I think if Pittsburgh just threw their hat in the ring, Pittsburgh would probably offer him a 3rd round pick, which I don't think teams are going to offer much more than that.
Yeah,
they can move up if they had to, but Stafford would be their best quarterback since 2018 Ben.
Yeah, I just don't see the Rams parting with Stafford this year. I don't see McVay wanting to part with Stafford.
No, I don't see that either.
Because they're getting rid of Kupp almost certainly at this point.
Yeah.
And if you
I put that they're clearing house just because Stafford's his wife is telling people to get fucked themselves.
Yeah, I just feel like if you get rid of Stafford, you're kind of punting on McVay too. And then
apparently the whole thing is that McVay's hype over Stetson Bennett. The whole team is hype over Stetson Bennett. I don't know how you could be that hype over Stetson Bennett, but apparently they are.
Maybe he's the GOAT. I don't know.
Maybe he is
the GOAT.
Really fucking with Stetson Bennett, which
I haven't heard about that, but maybe there's buzz around LA.
That's what I've been seeing with like that's like been like the chatter exchange in like every Stafford article I've read. There's been the but, and Stetson Bennett has been the but.
Are you reading your own article?
If you think I'm giving Stetson Bennett praise, you've got me dead wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past you.
The stepdaughter.
Oh man, can we move on to different? I shouldn't have gone in order.
Oh man. Anyway, so Pittsburgh, we're staying in Pittsburgh for a little bit. They Justin Fields wants to come back. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh doesn't want him back. They, so to speak, they might want him back. Mm-hmm. But the Jets are interested. They've like kind of emerged this week as kind of like a dark horse to land him, a team kind of stepping out of the shadows.
Yeah.
They're not really in position in the draft to get their guy.
No.
And the
really.
more I look at this quarterback class and free agency, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, there's really not much going on in terms of, I mean, draft and especially free agency, there's pretty much like dust bunnies.
We're gonna get to it eventually, but like Darnold's like his projected contract
It's massive.
got released today by Spotrac, I think. Mm-hmm. Fucking huge, but
yeah,
that's for a little bit down the line. I would just love Fields back. They could get Fields cheap. Fields is supposed to get like a $9 million deal.
Yeah, I'd give him 2 years. I'd give him a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd give him 2 years, 20 fully guaranteed.
Yeah, I just feel like he's a kind of low risk, high reward option. I mean, you saw last year if he plays at his most mundane, he can operate above 500.
They didn't even open the playbook up for him, and he played he played the best football of his career.
I just think like, you know, if you open that playbook up and you have more faith in him, then I think he could do more. You've seen flashes of him, like people have thought he could be a franchise quarterback, and then you've also seen flashes where like, oh my god, this is horrible. So it's like you gotta. It's tough to go all in on a guy like that, but it's equally tough to go all in on a guy like Stafford, who you're really only gonna have for like a year.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know. I feel like the Pittsburgh's roster is building and not like ready to win right now, despite the fact that they're always competitive down the stretch. I think Fields would be a nice breath of fresh air, as you put it, a nice change of pace.
I think Stafford would be I think Stafford would optimize their potential like to the fullest, just because of how he can elevate an offense even when there's not the best talent around him. But they need way more than just quarterback.
Mm-hmm. They definitely do.
Like a lot more, like pretty much everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere.
They could use a spot at every single position group.
Yeah, we already talked about the Preston Smith cut, but we'll instead of jumping over to LA and just talking about the rest of that, we'll keep it in the division, kind of make things weird. The Bengals are supposed to franchise tag T. Higgins for this is the second time, right?
I can't remember. Maybe they have done it twice. Maybe they will.
This is to prioritize obviously Jamar Chase and Trey Hendrickson, who are both due for long-term deals. What do you make of that, and what do you think T. Higgins makes of that?
I don't know. I could see T. Higgins being a little irked by that.
Yeah.
I know there were talks of maybe a possible holdout last offseason. I can't remember how that got resolved, but it must have been as a tag, or maybe they just didn't sign him.
I think it was a tag. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a tag.
Sounds right, but I don't know. For him, you know, he's the kind of guy who could make really big money in free agency and like huge money.
He's going to get offers,
and so you get that, but the places that he's making big money from are not gonna be in playoff contention likely this coming year. And so for him, I mean, maybe a franchise tag.
But he's not like
a tag is like I mean, for wide receiver, a franchise tag is probably like $25 million.
Yeah, it's going to be a hefty price tag.
He makes $25 million for 1 year, gives the Bengals another year to contemplate whether they want to give him the big bucks, and then if they don't go out and win the Super Bowl and the Bengals don't want to pay him, then you go make money next offseason. But like, for me, if I was T. Higgins, I would be reluctant to leave a team with a top 5 quarterback.
I could see why he is entertaining it. I think.
I can totally see why he wants to leave.
Yeah, right. But like for sake of like comparable quarterback play, like I think the Chargers like him. I know New England likes him, but like if I were him, like I wouldn't mind. Like for my guaranteed money, I wouldn't mind going to a place like New England, who's like got they got a sweet head coach, they got a stout ass quarterback who's only going to get better, and they might not be in playoff contention next year, but with a solid off season, like 2 solid off seasons. Going into the 2026 season, I guess it would be. I could definitely see them like.
Oh, for sure. New England has a good path, and they also
even like the Chargers too. They've got the quarterback, they got the coach,
and we'll talk about this later in the episode as well. They both are very high in cap space, and I think both very willing to shell out money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is an interesting situation because obviously he's the 3rd most important signing on their team.
It's just not often you see they're in a weird spot, but it's also not often you see like a guy like him hitting free agency, especially so young because he's only 27, 28?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's like I understand like it's kind of just like, you know, Cincinnati's happened to develop like 2 top 14 receivers. He's only 26. Wow. Yeah. I just feel like to me he had the big holdout last year and he put everything aside to kind of make that run. Like since he's got some holes too. Like they got a lot of stuff to clear up, and I'm at a point where like LA getting a guy like T. Higgins could like put them in the Chargers are just missing like a few. They need a few weapons outside. Quentin Johnson sucks. Ladd McConkey's sweet, but he's not enough. T. Higgins would be awesome in LA.
Yeah, he would be great. I mean, T. Higgins would be pretty cool wherever he went.
I just want him to leave because I'm pissed off at Cincinnati. I hate Cincinnati. They piss me off.
Yeah, I don't know. For them as well, like they have to entertain the thought of what's more important. A second really good receiver, or to use this money to fill in our myriad of holes on the defense because they have so many. It's like what is
horrible defensively.
Yeah, what's more important, wide receiver 2 or like cornerback 1 and 2 and 3, and like just like
they could get a guy in the draft too.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like you gotta like. They need people who can like just play out there because they were feeling like practice squad level production at the end of last year.
It was so bad. T. Higgins deserves his money. He should walk. Bringing it back to the homestead, towards the big CLT.
Oh yeah.
The Carolina Panthers made a franchise-saving move and brought back Andy Dalton, who could be very responsible for Bryce Young's uprising last year.
Yeah, I mean,
he was in the phone call with Rod Wave.
Yeah, he might have been. It might have just been Andy Dalton on the phone. I really do think like he plays a role somewhat in Bryce's success, not necessarily on the field, but his confidence to be able to be benched and then sit behind a guy and then come back and then that guy not be bitter or be an ad. Like, it means something. And Dalton has shown in these past couple years, like, if Bryce were to go down or something happens, you know, he's a serviceable backup and he's a fine player.
The Red Rifle.
The Red Rifle, man. He's always been good.
Yeah.
He's always been solid, man.
He's sweet.
I'm happy to have him back in Charlotte. It's nice to have a bright spot, man, somewhere.
Oh, he is the bright spot.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of bright spots coming from the quarterback room in Charlotte, man. Go Panthers.
Yeah.
Keep pounding.
Yeah.
Is that all we got for the red rifle signing?
Yeah.
That was a fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say.
Yeah, we'll talk about another quarterback. Today I saw Spotrac released Sam Darnold's projected contract, and it is in the neighborhood of 4 years, 170 million, with 100 million guaranteed. That's like Kirk's deal, isn't it? That's just literally Kirk's deal.
Yeah, Kirk's I think it was
180. Yeah, but it's just Kirk's deal. But to put that in perspective, that would put Sam Darnold in the top 11 quarterback range in the NFL. Do you think he deserves that money? Do you think he's going to get that money?
I don't, and I don't. I don't think that a team is going to pay him, because I think the teams that you look at who have a lot of money are wise enough not to spend that money on Sam Darnold. Like, you look at the Raiders, who are like quarterback needy and they have so much cap space. It's like, I don't know, that I think Pete Carroll was smart enough to see that, like, Sam Darnold's not winning them anything on a big contract. So you look at the other teams that have all this money in cap, is like New England has their guy. Mm-hmm. Like Washington's got their guy. The Chargers have their guy. Like all these guys with a ton of money to spend have their path forward, even if their path forward is just the draft.
Right.
I think teams like Indianapolis make more sense than, like, I could see Indy making a move. I could see, like, the Jets bringing him back, honestly, makes sense.
I could also see that. Like, I think that would be a good option for him.
It's a little bit silly, but I think that he could come back and be a pretty positive player.
Yeah.
I just think, like, if you give him, like cut that down, give him 25-30 million, let him make Baker Mayfield money instead of Josh Allen money.
Yeah.
And let him have Baker Mayfield production, because he did this year. I mean, he was pretty stellar for a long stretch of this year.
Yeah, he was really good.
You can see the vision. Like, he fell apart the last 2 games that he played this past season, but you could see the vision where, I mean, he could win you a playoff game, I think, pretty feasibly. Especially if you go to a team like the Jets, who have a lot of pieces in place, and I think the Colts are my favorite landing spot.
That's a good one. I was definitely overlooking them. I was looking.
They're easy to.
Yeah, the Colts are very easy to overlook, but that is a good. I mean, they do have good weapons. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have 2 solid receivers.
Mm-hmm. They have a fine defense, and they have a coach. Most importantly, I think, who is coaching for their job.
He's also a quarterback-friendly coaching for his job.
That is true. So I think they make a lot of sense, and I think they're a team that wouldn't necessarily break the bank for Darnold. And
Right.
I don't think he's going to make that kind of money. Like, the final is 30% of your grade, and his final, he fucking flunked out.
Right. So I'll answer my own question. I'll say I do not think he deserves that kind of money, but that's not necessarily his fault. I do think he'll get it.
Okay.
Because, like the Raiders, Pete Carroll might not be like a team like the Raiders is just in a really, really weird spot.
They are.
They pick at number 6. Their quarterbacks are going to be off the board, and like I understand Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a spring chicken, right? Mm-hmm. But he's not. He's not going to coach his team for a decade. At least I don't think that way. So he's looking for a realistic window of probably about 5 years.
Yeah.
Probably about 5 years to maybe make a run. And he's a defensive coach, but he is quarterback friendly. He's nurtured some of the best college quarterbacks. He nurtured Russell Wilson through the best parts of his career. And I think if they stumbled upon some weapons, if they pieced together some kind of roster, maybe they got T. Higgins, maybe they got Keenan Allen, maybe they picked up someone in the draft. I mean, they have Brock Bowers. Maybe they could do something. Maybe. I don't think Minnesota's going to shovel out that money, especially when they got McCarthy waiting in the wings. But I like what you said about Indianapolis, and I do like what you said about the Jets. I think the Jets would be a really good spot for him, because confidence is everything when you play quarterback. Mm-hmm. He got a lot of that last year. He was a top 5 quarterback for 95% of the season. Mm-hmm. And I think he's probably going to feel pretty revitalized by that. He he like emerged as what Daniel Jones was supposed to be.
Yeah,
everyone wrote him off, but he didn't write back.
He could also be what Daniel Jones is a quarterback who gets paid too much money and goes to a team that's shitty and then is shitty again.
Listen, I'm not the kid's business advisor, man. I'm just
I'm
an idiot with a microphone. I'm just offering up my opinion when no one asked for
it. Look,
it.
I think the Giants also make some sense too.
If they don't get their guy, like if I were the Giants, I'd probably rather have. But I was thinking about that on my way over here because Daboll's coaching for his job, so I could see Daboll not wanting to nurture along, Shador or Cam when he's probably not going to be there. Now, in that same regard, like we've both seen how much like interest they've already shown. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Giants, like they have a budding offense. They have good pieces. I wouldn't say they're a good offense. They need help up front.
No, they're a weird, really, really weird team. Like they have their cornerstone receiver and they've got their cornerstone tackle. And then on defense is like their D-line is really good, and they have a good cornerback one, and then everything else on the roster is a complete dumpster fire. Like a lot of teams, like you look at the Raiders who have Crosby, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they have Bowers too, but like a lot of these teams who are like
they might not have Crosby for much
longer. That's true. Like it's like you look at the Panthers for example. It's like where's their good player? It's like and it's just crickets. It's just crickets for 25 minutes as you scour the roster, and it's like. They don't have a single superstar. The Giants do, mm-hmm. And they have a slew of stars as well. Like Burns is really good.
Burns was sweet last year. Yeah.
Like they just the pieces are like in random places, and
mm-hmm.
they continuously make like shitty moves every offseason to just make their roster worse.
They do have a fucking sweet pass rush, like one of the sweeter pass rushes in the league, and that's like. Everything. Like, that's like your quarterback on defense. Like, having a good pass rush is everything.
Yeah, well, it wasn't everything this year. Their defense was horrible.
Yeah, they were. But, they have some pretty major holes.
That's true. You also need your 7 other players on defense to play football, which they didn't.
They need Blake Martinez back.
They do. They need him making tackles 8 yards down the field. They need to rack them bitches back up.
Well, I had something in mind talking about the Colts, something that you brought up, but I can't remember it now. So, just costing us a segment, man. Costing us dollars. I guess we'll move it back to the Rams. The Rams are clearing house. We already talked about how they're looking to get Stafford out. Cooper Kupp we touched on. He's also pretty much like guaranteed to be on his way out. Pittsburgh, Washington, and New England are 3 teams that have shown interest early. What do you like from those teams, and give me 3 other teams that you could also see making a move for Cooper Kupp?
The Steelers, I like about Kupp, or they would like about Kupp, the same thing they liked about Deontay, just someone who can win quick underneath.
That's like everything they need. That maximizes George Pickens so good.
And just tailors to the offense Arthur Smith wants to run, get the ball out quickly, get run after catch, quick 8-yard routes. Kupp's a guy who's proven you can pepper with targets if he stays healthy. Yeah. New England, I don't love as a landing spot just because I think they need somebody more electric, and they need somebody that May can really bond with over time, and I don't think Kupp's that guy.
I'd really like T. Higgins. Man.
What was the last name that you said? Washington. I think Washington, I'm not super high on either because Washington, I would rather see them use their resources on the other side of the ball. And I don't think, obviously Kupp would be good for them. I don't think it'd be a bad move, but to give like a 5th round pick for Kupp even and take some of that contract is just, they need to spend their money in smart ways, and they are ahead of schedule, but in the NFL the turnarounds are so quick. As if they have a bad offseason this year, all of a sudden they're behind schedule.
Right. I would really like to see Washington get a running back. Brian Robinson's good. He's serviceable, but he's not like...
He's a straight-up power back, man.
Like, we saw what Derrick Henry did for Lamar this year, and I view Washington as like that kind of offense. They're built really similar to Baltimore. They have their number 1 guy. They have a solid tight end, but they're missing really that sweet running back. So I agree. I don't really love Cooper Kupp there as much as I would like... I haven't thought about this. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Washington too much, but I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh for all the reasons you laid out. He's very complimentary to George Pickens, and I think that's everything Pittsburgh needs right now. And I agree with what you said. New England needs more of like a guy who's more explosive. I think T. Higgins would be sweet there.
Yep.
Do you have 3 teams in mind that you think maybe better suit than the 3 we listed?
I would like...
Or the 3 that have shown interest, I guess.
I think that he makes sense for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins could be interested in him. They have a lot of guys... They're speed, but I think they need somebody who can just settle down in zone and give Tua a guy to look at when shit doesn't go exactly right.
Right.
Which is what they're lacking right now. Not to say that Waddle and Hill are not capable of that, but Kupp is more nuanced. And I think he makes sense for them, and they're also not afraid to shell out money for aging vets. They've showed that.
Right.
I think the Texans make some sense if they're going to give him a 1-year deal.
That's a good.
You've got Tank Dell he'll miss the entire season. Diggs will miss half. You need a guy who's going to be out there and be serviceable because I like
Diggs' contract is also up.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Do you think they bring him back?
I think they probably do. I think
they didn't but when they were all 3 together, they were
good.
damn good.
They were what they were billed to be when they were together.
Yeah.
I try and keep that core together as much as possible. I think Kupp makes sense for them. I think he's
going to be cheap too. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Who's a third team? I had those 2. I don't know. I don't know about a third. I think.
Those are 2 good options.
Yeah, I think maybe a team like the Broncos could be a cool fit.
That's another good one.
Just the same thing I like about him for the other teams. Just somebody underneath. Give Bo Nix an outlet who is an actual winner rather than somebody you have to scheme open, which is kind of what they've got now. They've got a bunch of like cool players, but they're not actually really that good.
Yeah.
Somebody who can win outside of Sean Payton's scheme alongside of Cortland Sutton. So I think those are my 3. What do you have?
This feels like a relatively obvious one when you look at the way their offense is built, but you also know in the back of your mind this would never happen ever. And that's Dallas.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, he would be really, really sweet in Dallas.
Yeah, he would. That's a great fit, actually.
Yeah, but you just know, like, it probably didn't cross your mind because Jerry Jones would never pull the trigger on that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one. Give Dak another weapon. Give CD someone who can actually run routes. Yeah. And I think they've got a sweet tight end in Jake Ferguson. And Rico Dowdle's serviceable. He ran for 1,000 yards. I think if they could get maybe someone in the draft, I know they liked Ashton Genty, but it's the Cowboys, so they're probably going to screw it up. Outside of Dallas, give me one moment to ponder.
I gotcha.
I would really like him in Cincinnati if Higgins walked.
Okay.
So if Higgins, that situation, if Higgins walked, then I would really like him there. I would also really like him for Buffalo. I think he would help Keon Coleman a lot.
I thought about Buffalo. I think he kind of. The only problem with them is they just made a move for an aging vet and Amari Cooper.
His contract is up though.
That's true.
So.
He also sort of Kupp fills Shakir's role a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of conflicting scheme fits, but when you're building a team, scheme is almost secondary. If you can get a player you deem is good, you want to get that guy. So.
I think he's like I think he would really like elevate their offense in a way they could definitely use. That was 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other teams?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, one thing's left to talk about here, and that. Oh no, we actually have quite a bit to talk about. Shit. All right. Well,
coming on live to Wide Right in my house.
Miles, say what's up to the folks, man. How you doing, baby?
What's up, baby? What you doing?
This is my first time seeing Miles today.
Dude,
Happy surprise.
I came home and Wide Right's here live in my house. It's fucking awesome. The dream come true, man.
Imagine how we feel. We get a celebrity on the show.
Yeah. Miles, do you like anyone that's not these three teams for Cooper Cup?
Not these teams.
Right.
You know, I like the Panthers.
We didn't even list them.
No. Because think about it. You know, you already got Adam Thielen. Why not get a little bit better Adam Thielen?
That's so true.
Cooper
believe I
Cup
didn't
next
think
to
of
Adam
that,
Thielen.
man.
That'd be a prime combo.
The Aryan receiving core.
Yeah.
Is,
I think the Jets should bring back Rodgers and bring in Cooper Cup. We appreciate you, Miles.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Dude, if you got to go to the week, if you can drum one up, man, we'll get you back out here.
oh, go to the week. Oh, maybe I'll think one up in the old noggin.
All right. We might have Miles back on later, but oh man, Miles should really be sitting in on this discussion. I feel bad he's not. Justin Tucker added 7 new allegations to his resume.
What's that thing up to 17?
16. He's up to 16 allegations now. Ravens legend Chris Canty spoke on the matter. He's buying the allegations. He thinks Tucker did it. He thinks the allegations alone are enough to warrant Baltimore getting him the fuck out of there. So Chris Canty is like, dude, he's not the quarterback. All right, you can't just warrant this. Like Deshaun Watson, right? He's not expendable. He's the quarterback. But Justin Tucker, he plays kicker, and I think this is pretty clear it's true because we saw how that whole scandal affected Deshaun's career. Justin Tucker had the worst year of his career this year.
Yeah, it is a direct correlation to assaulting women. But why? But why has it never affected Alvin Kamara?
Well,
all he's done is get better, and he just keeps kicking more women every year.
That's because he doesn't get massages.
That's true. Well, he doesn't sexually assault them. He just straight up assaults them.
Yeah, right.
It has nothing to do.
He
with
wears grills too.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Maybe less groping, more kicking, Justin. Than you.
Yeah. Take after Tyreek Hill.
No, he should be cut. That's.
It just sucks, man.
I disagree.
It sucks how out of tune the NFL is. If this happened in the NBA, someone would be banned.
I mean, you just can't do that. It's genuinely disgusting, and it's disgusting how many players can just do it and then get alleged and then just get away with it in all sorts of crimes in the NFL, and just because
the NBA and any professional athlete
just
in
because
general.
they make the league money, it doesn't matter. It's just disgusting. He should be cut and should never get a spot on a roster. But unfortunately, even if he does get cut, someone is going to pick him up.
He is Justin Tucker. Unfortunately, he was sweet at one point in time.
Maybe
just not right now.
Maybe this will make it so he never makes the Hall of Fame.
Hopefully, good note. That might be enough. That might at least ruin his first ballot bid.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, he should get convicted.
Fuck you, Justin Tucker, dude. Fuck. My Twitter banner is Justin Tucker. It's after he hit the game winner and he was going like this. Hold on. I'm going to change that. I'll change it after the show. No one look at my Twitter right now. Okay. Well, fuck. I didn't let you read the full order. There was more that would have worked out really well with what we were talking about earlier. But we got a little take corner now where we get to spew our opinion. Because that's what the show's all about, man. That's what pays the bills. That's what keeps the bills paid. So, welcome to my game show called Franchise Tag or Let Them Walk. Okay. In this game, you are each of these respective players' team's general manager. You have to make the decision whether you're going to franchise tag them or let them walk. You can try and bring them back, but there's no guarantee.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, T. Higgins.
I let him walk just because I saw last year what a really good trio can get you when the rest of your team is ass. So I let him walk and try and build out the rest of the roster.
Okay. I guess. Well, I mean, I was gonna say wait and see what the market's like, but you already know it's gonna be 22 and a half.
That's not
25.
the damn game show, man.
All right. I didn't know you were the host. All right. Let him walk.
Okay.
Next is Zach Bond.
Franchise tag. I would give him the beans. I'd give him the business. I'd give him whatever he wants.
I wish there was a little added word to this that said extension, because that's what I would give Zach Bond. But
Yes.
for the sake of the game show, I'll franchise tag him. Sam Darnold.
I let him walk.
I let him walk too. Kevin O'Connell's sweet, dude.
Yes.
He's like a legit quarterback whisperer. I think J.J. McCarthy could be sweet in their offense. All right, Javon Holland.
Ooh, how much is the safety franchise tag?
It's not going to be much. Probably like 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there.
I franchise tag him. I try and keep the core alive as much as possible.
I would agree with that sentiment. Javon Holland's really good. I would like him to hit the open market, though.
Yes.
I think he deserves to be elsewhere. This one's kind of an interesting one. Trey Smith.
I franchise tag Trey Smith, I think.
Okay.
It'd be tough to let him walk if you're the Chiefs.
It would, but yeah. Oh God. Yeah. They just have so much. Oh my fucking God. The Chiefs suck after one game. The Chiefs are bad.
Yeah, it's true.
Chris Godwin.
Did you even pick? You just moved on. You just said the Chiefs were bad and you didn't answer.
Oh, well, fuck. Shit! God! I guess I'll franchise tag him. Jesus Christ. Chris Godwin.
What is he gonna miss any time?
I don't think so.
I'd franchise tag him. You got Baker, I think, for another year, and Evans is on a ticking clock at this point, and your defense is aging. I think you trying to keep that core together as well. I franchise tag.
I would. Mike Evans is already going to leave. I honestly would probably try and use my expenses to get a younger guy.
Okay.
So I would throw my hat into the T. Higgins ring, maybe get Kupp. This is nothing against Chris Godwin at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers GM right now. And looking at this phone screen, I'm going to say let him walk.
Okay.
Our final guy, Ronnie Stanley.
This is probably the biggest one, the biggest free agent going to market outside of Bond, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm the Ravens GM, I'm probably trying to extend him, but I'll tag him for the sake of the game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You got to protect Lamar.
Yeah, got
first
to.
and foremost. All right, we got another. That was more than 5, but we have a couple top 5 lists. We have our top 5 biggest spenders this offseason. So, give me your 5.
Okay, so
We'll go in order. So we'll go descending. We'll start at 5 and then make our way down to the highest spending.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback off of my idea that Darnold would not get the money, and I have Las Vegas will be the 5th biggest spender, even though they are second in cap space.
I have them a little bit higher, but yeah, I like that. For my number 5, I'm going to pick. Give me a minute. I'm thinking about. I'm gonna say the Giants. They don't have a great cap situation, but I would think they're gonna use whatever they have, to maximize their assets.
Yes,
So yeah,
I agree.
I'm gonna say the Giants for number 5.
Number 4, I've got the Chargers. They're also 4th in cap space.
Okay, I like that one.
I just think they're going to go all in, or try to.
Yeah, I like
I think
them.
they've got like $65 million. I think they could even make that more if they wanted to. So.
I went with Arizona for number 4.
I thought about Arizona. They didn't make my list, but I definitely.
They made my list because this is probably the last year Kyler's going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're going to give him a chance. I think they're going to build they need to be built up on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But they have some pretty okay pieces. So I just think they're going to try and open the pockets a little bit. They have the most salary cap they've had in a while.
Yeah.
So this might be the year.
Mm-hmm. At 3, I have Detroit. I think they're going to break the bank this year and try and win one.
Okay.
Because this is the last year before Goff's contract really hits. I think they're going to give everything they have this offseason.
I put Pittsburgh at 3.
Okay.
Because they've shown they're going to clear up cap space wherever they can. They first chance they had to
That's
let
true.
Preston Smith walk, they could.
But they've yet to show in the past 15 years that they're willing to spend on that cap space, which is why I don't have them on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I think Khan's been a little bit more proactive.
He definitely has.
They spent when they got Dante Jackson, kind of in a way. They took on his salary was bigger than Deontay's, I think. But even so, he's still a pretty expensive corner for his performance historically. But he had a really good year this year. He had 6 interceptions. He still sucks, but I don't know. I'd honestly like to see him as safety. Like I would like them to get like maybe Jair if he becomes available, and maybe put Dante Jackson as safety. All right, number 2.
Number 2, I have New England.
That's a good one. Oh wow. Okay. So I think I know who your number 1's going to be. I put Washington at number 2. Yeah.
I have Washington at 1.
I have New England at 2.
What you mean New England at 1?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
No. So I've got. Sorry. I think both of those teams. I kind of went with all in the same vein of thinking that these teams are all teams with pieces that are going to try and go all in as much as possible. I think Washington's going to try and make some moves there. We haven't talked about this. They're my favorite for Garrett. They've got the assets and the team around them. I think they're gonna. They don't, and they shouldn't want to let this NFC Championship go to waste.
Yeah, they've already reached out about Cup. They've already reached out about Garrett. They're gonna open the pockets in some way. I honestly wouldn't rule them out from getting Jair because he's supposed to be hitting the streets soon.
Yep, I wonder if they're maybe a little wary about trading or signing another big name, aging, injury-prone corner.
I think
I do think Lattimore can rebound. He did not play well, but I think he can.
Yeah, I think he can rebound too. I like him more than I like Jair, but I think the biggest thing about Jair is if I'm their GM, I'm not trying to trade for him. Like if he gets cut, then I'll look that way. But another thing about Washington is they only have 46 players under contract.
They have the 3rd highest cap space. So,
I think. Yeah. Did we talk about the Patriots at all?
I just think they've got their first in cap space. They've got like 120.
Yeah, they have a crazy amount of cap space.
I think they're going to try and break the
everybody.
bank. They're my favorite for Higgins. I think they're going to get some defensive players. I think Vrabel is not going to be complacent in his first year with May.
Okay.
I think he's going to try and be as good as possible.
Yeah.
In a stacked AFC.
Yeah. Nice. Good list. All right. Next, I'll hit you with the best. All the coaching spots are filled in the league. We'll preface by saying that. Give me your best new head coach record and your worst new head coach record.
I think I'm gonna say Ben Johnson has the best record with the Bears.
This one's like kind of a tough one. I felt like.
I think he's got the best record. I really do think that Duval County is a dark horse, number 1. I think that Liam Cohen can really
They could, man.
do
the
it.
division's weak. Outside of Houston.
He might be a fucking tool, but he runs a good offense.
Duval!
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
He's kind of a twat. Like,
yeah, he sucks. He's fucking stinks, dude. But he is a really good OC. He runs a really good offense and always has. But I don't have the faith in the team to put them at 1. And I think for worst, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say poor Pete Carroll and the Raiders.
Okay.
Last. They're in a tight race for me with the Saints, but I think the Saints are too mid to have the worst record.
Dude, I feel like I don't want to pick who I want to pick because he's last on this list I'm reading right now. I'm gonna pick Kellen Moore.
Okay.
The Saints coaching job
it
was so destitute. Okay, Derek Carr played pretty okay in the first 2 games of the season. When he was on the field, he played okay, and it's gonna take a lot for New Orleans to even have an okay off season. The division's weak. They have a proven quarterback. Not proven for this standard of the division. I like Kellen Moore, man. All right, everyone get off my dick.
I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be mid. I think they're going to win like 7 games.
I think they might win 8 or 9, maybe. They'll be in the race. That's what I'm banking on.
In a dog shit division. Then when the Panthers, when they play like week 16, it's going to be like a playoff game.
All right.
The stakes are going to be so high.
You said your worst was Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Um.
No shade to Pete. I love
No,
Pete.
yeah, no shade to Pete.
All the shade to the Raiders, every bit of it that I can manage.
Wow, this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to call Big Brian Snottenheimer.
Oh man, you think the Cowboys are gonna fucking shit the bed again?
Well, I predicted the Cowboys were gonna shit the bed this year, and then they did.
That's
So
true.
I think
You're
the
right.
Cowboys are gonna take.
You could repeat on this prediction very easily.
I think
You're right.
I think I'm banking on Washington keeping going up, and then I'm banking on Dallas keeping going
I think
down.
that's a very safe bet. I
The
only,
day Dallas, well, I can't say that.
they have no hope until Jerry Jones.
When
dies.
Jerry Jones, yeah. Silas said what I wouldn't. Until Jerry Jones is just somehow removed from his job, no matter how it be, probably gonna be until he dies. He's like fucking 104.
The whole world knows it, man.
Man, he is just the worst. He is just the worst thing for Dallas. I would like to see imagine if Stephen Jones took over. Like they'd still probably suck, but they would at least try.
Yeah, it's true. They haven't tried in quite some time.
No, they haven't tried, man. And Jerry Jones is just waiting around for the team to win the Super Bowl without putting any effort in, and he's just the worst.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to Vrabel. I wanted to pick Vrabel, but not as much as I wanted to pick Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh man. So that'll take us out of our takes segment. Do you think of anything else you maybe want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, I got a couple news things for you. A little bit of news to talk about. Richie Incognito beat the case.
Yeah, I don't know what case. I'm not plugged in enough to know.
All right, you don't remember what happened to Richie Incognito?
Well, I mean, I know.
It was when he played. It was when he played. Huh?
Bully game.
Yeah. There. See,
I'm not in tune with him.
All right.
Catch me up.
All right. So basically, during his playing career, during the final days, back when he played with the fucking Dolphins, when he just gave up on everything, he was he was accused by a teammate's mother of severely bullying the player. After taking a leave of absence.
What does this bullying entail? Never heard anybody be charged.
Reports
with bullying.
indicated that behavior directed at Martin went beyond rookie hazing and crossed a line with threats and racist remarks.
Well, that checks out.
But this guy, hold on, what's his name? Jonathan Martin. But Jonathan Martin, 13 years later, took to social media to say that he never experienced any bullying from Richie Incognito.
And that's just
and
because
cleared his
Richie
name.
Incognito had a gun to his head.
Oh man. Speaking on the remark, Richie Incognito took to social media. He said he couldn't cut it in the NFL, so he quit, and his mom blamed me. Legacy media pushed this narrative long and far. Too bad it was all a lie. They lied to protect his money. He quit. The team had every right to claw back that money. His mom started the bullying narrative with Adam Schefter so that the Dolphins wouldn't go after his signing bonus. He took to Twitter with another post that said, "You tried to ruin my career over a lie." He tweeted tagging Pro Football Talk. "You tried to ruin my life over this bullshit," saying to Adam Schefter, "You've always been Bush League."
Oh my god, man. What are we doing?
Oh,
that's so bad.
oh my god! Pretty much.
It's hard to imagine these people are real.
This Jonathan Martin, in a direct quote, said that he never believed for a second that he was being bullied by Richie Incognito. Richie Incognito earned his famous nickname, the Bully, over this incident.
What's our next segment?
Travis Kelce might retire. Travis Kelce, after the Super Bowl, pretty much said that he was going to think long and hard on his retirement. He was, quote, kicking the can as far as he could, I think his words were. Not trying to misquote Travis Kelce. He took the Super Bowl loss pretty hard, man.
Yeah, he did.
He was
He played
pretty
like
beat up.
shit.
Yeah, he did play like shit. He
he-
played like shit for like the majority of the playoffs.
I think he's. What did he say?
Was
That
he gonna propose to Taylor Swift? Is that a thing?
I don't have any idea. Man.
You wouldn't know anything
No,
about
I
that?
don't know nothing about that. But
Miles,
Yeah.
you know if Travis Kelce was going to propose to Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl?
What?
Do you know if Travis Kelce was going to propose to Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl? Do you know of those plans?
I did not.
I don't know. Dude, I
well, if
saw...
Miles doesn't know, it must have been false.
Dude, my timeline was getting fucking hit up about, like, clowning Travis Kelce over his
You should have done
engagement.
it anyways, man. Like, go
Stole
out
the
while
spotlight from Jalen
Yeah, go
Hurts.
out while they're handing out like the Eagles their like trophy and shit. Go out in the middle of the field, like just
That would have
propose.
stolen all of the spotlight.
Yeah, just steal all their fucking like.
Dude, I like that hypothetical you just
You know,
said.
he might have been the shooter at the Eagles parade.
He was the one that threw a beer can at Howard Roseman.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not one to speculate, but
Dude, everyone was getting beer cans thrown at him. We should have talked about that. We can talk about that
it was
after
just
this.
Philadelphia.
Shh!
fine.
You're gonna give it away.
No.
But pretty much, Kansas City gave him a window. They gave him a deadline.
Yeah, I think he said recently, a couple of days ago, he'd be willing to come back in a limited role.
Damn. So is he like checked out?
I don't know. I think maybe that's maybe his way of saying pay cut. He just kind of.
I guess you're
he's
right.
35. I mean,
He's old as shit, dude.
I think
yeah.
he can still be effective in a limited role. He was okay in some moments in the playoffs. He had a big game against the Texans.
Yeah, he did. Do you make anything of them like giving him the window? That's kind of like a Pittsburgh thing to do.
I mean, it's just smart. You don't want to leave yourself in limbo.
Yeah.
Into the offseason. You want to know if you can spend your money elsewhere.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it makes sense.
Okay. We got one more thing before I go to the week picks, baby. In college football news, I only have one thing. I think there was more, but this is all we're going to talk about for today. The SEC and Big Ten are pushing for an expanded playoff format just 1 year after the opening of the 12-team college football playoff format. These two conferences are looking for a 14 to 16 team playoff format.
Yeah, I'm staunchly against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 12 is too much.
What would you have if you could?
I would
I'd
have,
do
I would
8.
have BCS balls if I could.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's
I
a
mean,
sweet thing
I
to pick.
Seriously, but
The
like
BCS system historically sucked fucking balls, though.
it did, but I
It was
missed
so
the,
bad.
But like you could do it better than they did it. Like I just think that bowl games are more exciting. Like if they mean something, like I'd rather have just. Like, I understand it's lame to just have the fucking, like, winner of a bowl game become the national champion.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That sucks. But the 14 playoffs stunk, too. I think 8...
I think 8 would be a good number. I really like the 12. I think if Arizona ended up beating Texas, that would have been fucking sweet.
I just think, like, it's 8 consolidates the good games, because there wasn't any good games in the first week of the playoffs
No,
this
there
year.
really wasn't,
So
yeah.
just, like, you need to narrow it down and just really
I think 8 is
call
a sound
and have-
number.
Yeah, I think 8
eight's
is good.
a good number. Nice.
Nice.
All right, so
Go to
that's
the
all.
week. You want to lead us off on this?
Go to the week. Miles, you got to go to the week?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
The floor is yours. Lead us off.
Oh God. You know, actually, I got one. Zakai Ziegler,
even
Tennessee
know.
basketball's guard. He had,
Okay.
He had 22 points and 8 assists against Vanderbilt, shooting 7 of 11, 3 or
Damn.
4 from 3. And he was doing a leg injury like a few weeks ago, man. He just came out and he gave him the old Zakai dick, dude. And it was nice to watch. Also, they should post up Igor Milicic more. That's my go of the week.
Dude, yeah. Appreciate that. All right, I'll follow that up. My go to the week is Vanderbilt women's basketball guard Michaela Blakes. She's a freshman. Scored 55 points on 15 of 28 shooting against Auburn.
Are the Commodores ranked?
Dude, They're 19 and 7. They're about to be, I think. She finished with 55 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Get this, right? Get this. The second 50-point performance. She broke her own record in this game. She broke the freshman scoring record. She did that maybe like a month and a half ago with 53 points. And she was almost my goat of the week for that episode, but I chose Sam Merrill instead.
Smart.
Yeah. I might have the game log for you here if you're interested. Nope, this wasn't it. You go.
Okay, I've got. We're gonna step off the hardwood here, and I'm going for Boulier Dia for his. One moment. Boulier Dia for his 87-foot clutch goal.
Okay.
Again. So he won me $23.
Fuck.
So
Yeah.
to draw, he's a shooter for Lazio in their game against Napoli. I bet on them to draw. I put $7 on them to win 23, and I won it.
What tournament is that?
Then it's just Premier League.
Oh, okay. Sweet, dude. That'll help out the graphic. Thanks. That'll be easier to find who that is now. It took me like 30 minutes to find Kirby for Dad.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised you found him at all. I thought that was just a stock image of a horse.
Dude, I had to fucking go on this person's Facebook, dude, but it was really Kirby. I put it on for Pops. Little announcement for next episode. We're gonna have a segment with Dad while I'm up in Ohio. Yep,
yeah.
Dad and I are gonna film a little segment, so that'll be featured after our spiel in episode 7.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been Wide Right. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode, the 6th installment of our glorious